Great, so this week I'll show you how easy it is to calculate bottomhole pressures in Whitson Plus. Of course, the first thing you need in that exercise is to have uploaded your production data in the production data tab that you see in the left navigation panel. And then you simply upload the production data by either a manual upload, where you're just copy and pasting the data you have in the front end, or you do a data dump from one of the provided Excel templates, or you can also hook it up through an API connection to your internal database. Once you've done that, it's important to have the data that is relevant for your BHP calculations. That's of course the surface rates, but also the surface pressures and how they vary over time. Last but also very importantly is to define a BHP flow path, which is just a way to say whether or not you're flowing through tubing, casing, if you flow through, if you actually inject gas, for instance, through the tubing and produce up the annulus. If you want to actually use measured bottomhole pressures a given day, so let's say you have measured gauge pressures that you would like to convert down to sand face or shut-in, and of course over time you might be dealing with a well that has a lot of these variables changing as we go. Once you've done that, the next thing you need to do is just to go to the bottomhole pressure module here to the left. And then you need to build your well deviation survey. Just provide the measure depth and true vertical depths here. That's very, very standard in all the wells and very, very readily available data. You also provide the perforated interval. Build your well configuration for that particular well. That means providing casing data and tubing data, this is actually also hooked up to provided tubing catalogs and casing catalogs, such that you don't actually have to remember all of these different values, but you can simply just click these different buttons if it's relevant. If you want to, you can also calculate, if you want to use the days when you use measured gauge pressures, you can also convert those to the sand face by just providing the gauge depth. And also, if there's multiple different well configurations over time, you can actually add that as well. Geothermal gradients you can add. And also, as we've talked about in an earlier Tip Tuesday, if you have gas lift valves versus depth, and you want to honor that in the calculations, you can do that. Once you've provided your relevant information, Whitson Plus calculates the following four correlations as of right now: Bakes and Brills, Hoggett and Brown, Wallace Martin, and Gray, and that can then very easily be also smoothed and used in different types of calculations, such as numerical RTA and history matching.